I've been watching Oliver the Beagle. I discovered this channel like a year or so ago. I forget when it cropped up or popped up. And it's so cute. There's these two guys, husbands, who have raised this beagle, and I think they live in Chicago now. Like, they lived in California for like a year. One is from the San Francisco Bay Area or Northern California, and the other one is from Vancouver, Canada. And I go through like spats. I go through phases or stages. When I'll get hooked on certain channels for a while, and I'll watch them, like I'll binge watch these channels. But Oliver the Beagle, so cute. They have like Christmas episodes, and you watch the beagle open presents. Then, you know, when they've moved to different houses, they're finally in their final house, I think, but you see the beagle like sniffing around, getting used to that house, you know. Anyway, that's been my binge watch, you know, over the past week, like kind of 2 weeks. And I can't listen to anything. I can't watch regular TV because it's overly produced and it drives me crazy. So I do YouTube because it's real. It's real life. There's not 6,000 layers trying to create some sort of like, you know, sensational experience and all the emotions, you know. It's more like just real, regular people, you know, doing real things as best as possible. They go camping, they go to national parks and stuff like that, Yellowstone and so forth and so on. So a really cute channel. It has a little jingle and it's ringing in my head as I speak. Dun, 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 dun. I can't do it perfectly. Dun, 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 dun. It's so cute, you know. And of course, beagles are always adorable and lovable. And everyone loves the beagle. I walk a beagle. I've walked 2 beagles in the past together, and now one beagle with 2 other dogs. They all live in the same house. And, you know, they're very lovable, and they're compatible with most situations, I think. I was thinking, you know, they don't do kids that well? Okay. Maybe they don't do kids very well. But in general, they seem pretty, what's the word? Amicable. So I would say docile. I know I don't love the word docile because it can come across as a, you know, in the past I was called docile and I went home raging mad because I was like, if this person knew how many times I had to stand up for myself and this, that, and the other while not getting arrested. You know, they wouldn't use the word docile. So I don't love that word. It has negative connotations as if people are easy or too nice. I think the problem is people are too mean and insensitive. So, and that's why I like this channel. These guys are perfect in terms of no major drama, very kind, nice, gentle, and they seem to be doing well in life. They're not doing anything. Yes, we have people training for a run, and in fact, the runner kind of resembles one of the, it's Scott and Wayne, kind of resembles Scott, and this is what happens in Philadelphia. So, kind of, we'll just put it that way. It can get way worse, you know. Suddenly we'll see a male couple walking around with a beagle trying to look like Scott and Wayne. That's how bad Philadelphia can get, but we'll just leave it at that. I love Scott and Wayne, and I appreciate watching something where there's a communication that you don't see that often in general. Even in America, where it's supposed to be the promised land or whatever, it's, you know, our world tends to reward, you know, violence, spikes in energy, spikes in mood. You know, I don't want to, you know, sports are awesome, but people do experience highs and lows, you know, and they get all excited, and then you know, and I can't do that at this point in time because of everything I experienced. I need to be, you know, other people would see it as boring-ish. I need to be just level, so as much as possible, and that's maturity, isn't it? So, not that I appreciate people having a good time and this, that, and the other, but in general, in everyday life is mundane, right? There's some old saying about this, you know, life, you wake up every day, a cajillion days, you know, for a lifetime, hopefully, you know, assuming people live out to their normal longevity years, whatever their longevity is, and hopefully that's past the 70s, you know what I mean? And you get it closer to 80s. And if you're super lucky and you're enjoying life, you get closer to 100, like 90s. Like Jane Goodall, 91. So she actually had a documentary, I guess, like she was asked to be interviewed for a documentary back in March or April of this year. And I wondered if she was set up to sort of answer a question, because of course she just passed away last week. And the question was, I forget what the question was, but she didn't love people presenting as right-wing politicians. So she had a few comments to make about Musk, Trump, and all of his real supporters, and even Putin. And in Africa, there's, I can't pronounce it, Netanyahu or whatever, but he has right-wing government politics which don't really serve humans. Oh, look, seagulls. We don't always get seagulls over here. Often they'll be over by the train station, which is actually 2 buildings down, it's further down. But I'm glad they're here. So there was something came up, and Jane Goodall kind of said something like, you know what, you know, Musk has this planet he thinks he's going to discover. We'll just put him on his little spaceship along with Trump and Putin and, you know, all the right-wing XI and Netanyahu or whatever, and just send him off to this planet they think exists outside of. She was really nice about it, but she let it be known that she didn't like far right-wing politics, because what happens? People wind up tortured, basically. So liberals are supposed to be more understanding, sensitive, and looking at, like, why did this happen? What's going on? Who provoked who might have puppeted who to do what, you know, in any incident or what have you. Why do some people succeed and some people don't? You'd be surprised. A lot of people who succeed have actually kicked and punched people to the ground to get there. So, and the people who are kicked and punched too much are like, you know what, I give up. They wind up, you know, in a trailer somewhere watching TV.